Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having an excellent day today. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a few of my favorite guitars that sound unlike anything else. Now, of course, as guitarists, we love our Les Pauls, our Strats, our Tellys, all of those classic tones. Here, I'm going to talk about, as I mentioned, a few of my favorite guitars I've played over the years that just tonally are completely different. So here we go. Let's jump in and see a few of my favorites. Well, you guys, let's jump straight in and check out the first guitar on my list. Now, when I played this, it was unlike anything else I had played before. It was the Schecter SH1 Classic. What an interesting instrument. It had an offset body shape, semi-hollow design, vintage tailpiece, lipstick pickups that you could group together for a humbucker or split for individual tones, 2 volumes, 2 tones, so versatile, and it just sounded very unique. Whether it was a combination of the semi-hollow, the tailpiece, the pickups, it just sounded unlike anything else. What an interesting and unique instrument. So that's number 1 on my list. Now, guitar number 2 on my list is from Electro. These guys make guitars that sound unlike anything else, and like the first Schecter, it features lipstick pickups, and like the first guitar, very affordable as well. Now, these guitars are completely hollow. So there's an outer frame, and then they just put kind of 2 man-made materials on the front and back, lipstick pickups, they have a unique bridge, and if you've never played one, the attack on a Electro is like anything else. It's kind of like this chimey thump. I don't know how to describe it, but it's got a tone unlike any other guitar. They're affordable. My favorite from the lineup are the 57 Jade and the 59 Divine. They're kind of like the higher end versions, but they're still, very affordable guitars. And yeah, if you have a Strat or a Telly or a Les Paul or something like that, throwing a Electro into the mix, man, you can't miss. Sounds like nothing else. Right, so now we're going to move away from guitars with lipstick pickups, and we're going to talk about a few of my favorite models I've played over the years with P90s. Now, number 1 is the BNG Crossroads. This is the more affordable version of the BNG Private series, which is, handmade and very, very expensive, thousands of dollars. But they also have the Crossroads series. Now, what is it about these guitars that sound completely different? Well, number 1, it's like the parlor-shaped body, hollow body again, that beautiful brass cast tailpiece. It just resonates, again, unlike anything else. From the first time I picked up that guitar and just played a few chords, I'm like, wow, the resonance on this is just off the charts. It's just very, very different. And the P90s they put in there are just wound to give you this perfect kind of mid-range cut. It just has that vocal quality when you play with some distortion. Just sounds completely different. So that's definitely on my list. Everything about that guitar, from the shape to the hardware to the pickups they put in there, just really unique guitar that will sound unlike anything else. Now, the next guitar on my list is the Angelico Deluxe SS P90. Now, you might sense a bit of a theme here because, again, this guitar has a vintage tailpiece, a unique set of pickups, and semi-hollow design. And whether a guitar is fully hollow body or semi-hollow body, when you add a specialized set of pickups and a unique tailpiece, well, it's going to resonate and sound completely different than anything else on the market. Such is the case with the Angelico. I played a regular version with humbuckers back-to-back with the P90 version. Completely different guitars, sound absolutely different. Where the full humbucker version, you could kind of tweak in some classic tones, 335-ish, Les Paul-ish as well. But when you added those P90s into the mix, completely flipped the guitar on its head. So when you add that unique set of pickups, whether they're, the lipsticks or the P90s, you're going to end up with a guitar that sounds and responds to your playing in a completely different way. Next up, for guitars that sound nothing like anything else, is the Yamaha RevStar P90. So another guitar with P90s. I like this guitar so much. I was playing the mid-range version. There's, the overseas version. the standard, and then the high-end Japanese version. So I was playing the standard, and I liked it so much I put it on my year-end list for my favorite mid-range guitars. It's an amazing instrument, plays super well. Again, it's got that vintage tailpiece and that unique set of pickups. That combination is just gold if you want a guitar that sounds different than anything else in your collection. So it plays well, it's built amazingly well, and it sounds unique, so that's why it's on the list. Right, so I've covered a couple of my favorite guitars with lipsticks, a few with P90s. Now we're kind of going into the free-for-all, and the first one is such a unique instrument. It's the Vox Bobcat. Now I played the version with the 3 single coil pickups. They also make a version with P90s. I didn't get a chance to play that one, but I would guess that it would sound pretty unique as well. The single coil pickups, yeah, were just unlike anything else I played. From the moment I plugged it in, I was like, whoa, I don't know if it was the magnets they used or the windings or the bobbin height or whatever, but those pickups sound unique in that guitar. So if you want something that's really chimey, true single coils, but don't sound like a Strat, I mean, the guitar is completely different. Yeah, that's a great way to go. It played really well. It was kind of like an upper mid-range price tier, so it wasn't like, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars, but it was a pretty nice guitar in terms of build quality versus price versus what it brings to the table. So if you need something unique, check out the Vox Bobcat. Well, I was waffling whether or not I should include this next guitar on my list, but thinking back to the guitars I've played that sounded completely different from anything else, I figured, well, I'm going to put it on the list. Maybe it's too mainstream, but here we go. It is the Fender Jazzmaster. They're a true single coil pickup. They're unlike P90s, even though they look the same. They're wound completely different. The pole pieces are Alnico magnets. The P90s are constructed completely different. So they might look the same, but they sound completely different. They're a huge single coil pickup, so chimey. If you've played a Jazzmaster or listened to them, they've got just this sweet ring, and again, it's that combination of a unique bridge and a unique set of pickups. You put those two together, and you're going to end up with something really, really different. So they chime unlike a Stratocaster. They cut through a mix with just this sweetness. If you've ever, watched somebody play a Jazzmaster in a band setting, they just sound really, really amazing and super unique. So yes, it is a mainstream brand, but the guitar itself is not super duper mainstream like a Strat or a Tele. So I included it on the list. You can get the same type of effect by, putting a set of Jazzmaster sized humbuckers into a guitar or something like that, or replacing your P90s with a Jazzmaster style pickup. You can get that same effect, but the pickups themselves are so unique, it just gives you a tone unlike anything else. Next up, guitars with gold foil pickups. Now, unfortunately, my expertise in this area is severely limited. So if you guys play any guitars with gold foils, drop them in the comments what you think they sound like and what's unique about them. The only guitar I own is a Les Paul style guitar from Godin with gold foils, and I gotta say, they sound amazing. They're a true single coil pickup, so they're not hum canceling, even though mine's in a Les Paul kind of body shape. Yeah, you plug it in and you're like, wow, that tone should not be coming from that guitar. That's how interesting those pickups are. They can completely change what you would perceive that guitar to sound like. So I pick up my Les Paul, I plug it in, and you notice it's got gold foils. I play it for a few chords and you're like, that does not sound like a Les Paul. So very interesting pickups. Like I said, if you own anything with gold foils, drop them in the comment section what you like about them and how you think they're different. Right, so far I've given you guys a few different pickup types and some of my favorite guitars that feature those pickups. Now we're moving on to the Filtertron. Now I could do a whole video on Filtertron pickups. I love Gretsch guitars, both the main series and the Electromatics. I've owned a few from each, as well as a couple Telecasters with Filtertron pickups. I modded one Tele, routed it out and put in Filtertrons, added a new bridge obviously and all that kind of stuff. What a fun project that was, and completely turned the guitar on its head. You put a Telecaster or Filtertrons in a Telecaster and you've got the sweetest combination ever. If you've never tried it, I recommend it. But I'm going to go with something much more affordable and attainable to anybody. It's the Slick SL55. These guitars are super affordable. I was impressed with the playability for a couple $100. Filtertron style pickups. It was affordable It was fun, it was built well, and you could just pick it up and rock it. You didn't have to worry about like your really expensive Gretsch or anything like that. So there's so many to choose from. I definitely recommend getting a guitar with Filtertrons, you know, in your stable if you don't have one. And yeah, they're just such an amazing pickup. But yeah, that's my pick. Really affordable, really awesome guitar. Check it out. Next up is a guitar with mini humbuckers. Now, of course, mini humbuckers are synonymous with Gibson, and they've showed up on various models over the years. But my pick for a guitar that sounds unlike anything else is the Deluxe Bedford from Angelico. The shape of the guitar, the F-hole, you know, the hardware on those guitars, and that one had a mini humbucker in the bridge and 2 single coils, and they were T-style single coils, so they weren't like Strat single coils. So that guitar sounded completely unlike anything I was expecting. It just had such a unique tone. It sounded great. Those mini humbuckers sound awesome with gain. So yeah, you got the mini humbucker, which sounds completely unique, and then 2 T-style pickups in that body shape, semi-hollow, very, very cool guitar. And if you want something that looks unlike anything else and sounds unlike anything else, that's a great bet. And finally, here's the last guitar on my list of guitars that I've personally played that I think sound unlike anything else out there. It's the G&L ASAT with the magnetic field design pickups. I still maintain these are the best single coil pickups ever made. They're so responsive to height. You raise them up and they give you a big, bold, bluesy sound. That and each individual pull piece is adjustable. So if you want to raise a certain string or lower a certain string, you can just take an Allen wrench and adjust each individual pull piece to make any sort of custom tone you want. They're amazing pickups. Obviously, Leo was an absolute genius, and that was yeah, kind of the last pickup set he designed. So yeah, amazing pickup set. You combine that with that big, fat, heavy G&L bridge, and you've got a tone that sounds completely unique. That's that combination of a unique bridge and a unique pickup set. That's going to give you something that sounds unlike anything else. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys have ever played a guitar that simply sounds unlike anything else you've played before. I always like to see what kind of unique instruments people have come across, so drop them down in the comments section below. Other than that, I'll try to link to these guitars where I can find them. Sometimes when you're talking about unique instruments, they can be tricky to track down, so if I can find links to them, I will drop them in the comment section and in the video description. You can check them out there. Other than that, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.